friends and neighbors, and welcome to another Crochet with Me video. Today is going to be a beginner friendly tutorial, which means I'm going to go slowly through each step of the pattern. The pattern I'll be doing today is called a boutonniere dish mop. It's basically a big loofah that you use to clean your dishes and pots and pans. Unfortunately, I couldn't find very much about this pattern, so I'm not sure exactly where it was originally printed or what year it was printed. As you can see, for materials it says knitting or crochet cotton, and it does not give a size, but it does say a steel hook size 5, so it's likely referring to cotton thread. However, I'm going to be using this cotton yarn, and I'm just going to use the size hook that it suggests on the label, which is a size H. To begin, the pattern says to chain 10, and we're going to join to make a ring. The first thing we need to do is to get our yarn on our hook, and this is something that I struggled with when I began crocheting. There are several different ways to do this, but this is the way that I found works for me. You want to pinch the yarn between your thumb and your fingers. Wrap it over the top of your first 2 fingers. Bring it back down to the bottom, and you're going to crisscross it and make an X. And then when you bring the yarn back up to the top of your fingers, you want to lay it behind the first strand. Then you're going to take your hook, you're going to go underneath the first strand and over the back strand, and hook, pull through, and you should have a loop on your hook. The loop that is on our hook does not count as a chain 1. So we need to do 10 additional loops in our chain 10. We're going to wrap the yarn around our hook and pull it through the loop, and we need to do that 10 times. And then at the end, we're going to slip stitch to form a ring. In the slip stitch, we're just going to go in the first stitch of our chain 10, yarn over, and we're going to pull it through both loops on our hook. For row 1, it says to do 30 double crochets with a chain 1 space between each double crochet. And it says chain 3 for the first double crochet of the row. After we chain 3 for our double crochet, we want to do another chain for our chain 1 space. So basically we're starting row 1 with a chain 4. To do a double crochet, we want to yarn over our hook, go into the center of the ring. We're not going into individual stitches. We go into the ring, yarn over, and pull through, and we should have 3 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through 2 more. And that's a double crochet. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to repeat. So yarn over, go through the center of the ring, yarn over and pull through, then we're going to yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 more loops, and chain 1. And we're going to repeat until we have 30 double crochets with the chain 1 space in between each. around the ring, it does get a little crowded, and you may have to scoot your double crochets closer together. But when you finish your double crochet number 30, you want to do a chain 1, and we're going to join to the chain 3 that we did in the beginning. So remember that we chained 4 altogether for our double crochet in our chain 1 space. So we want to count up from the bottom to the 3rd stitch, and we want to go into the 3rd stitch, yarn over, and pull through both loops, and that's round 1. Row 2 says to do 2 double crochets in each chain 1 space, with a chain 1 between each double crochet. So just like round 1, I'm going to start by chaining 3 for our double crochet. And chaining 3 gets us to the correct height for our double crochets, and it keeps our row even. And then we're going to do another chain for our chain 1 space. Then I'm going to go into the chain 1 space from the previous round and put a 2nd double crochet. Then chain 1 and go over to the next chain 1 space. We're going to do a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, and then go to the next chain 1 space. And we're going to continue this pattern all the way around until we get back to our chain 3 that we started our row with. At the end of row 2, we're going to slip stitch into the 3rd chain of our chain 4. So count up from the bottom to the 3rd chain, enter your hook, yarn over, and pull through both loops. And now we're ready to continue on to row 3. And row 3 is the exact same as row 2. So we're going to start with our chain 3 for our double crochet and a chain 1 for our chain 1 space. We're going to go into the chain 1 space from the previous round and put our 2nd double crochet, chain 1. Then skip over to the next chain 1 space and put a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, and then go to the next space. And we're going to continue that pattern all the way around, and then we're going to slip stitch. And we're going to repeat the same steps for rows 4 and 5. So I am going to skip ahead. Since it's repetitive, I'm going to meet you at the end of row 5. I was almost to the end of round 5 when I ran out of yarn. So I thought I would show you how I join another color. I'm going to finish my dish mop in this red. What I do is I put the loop on the hook just like I did in the beginning, and then I'm going to take it off my hook, and I ran out of yarn right in the middle of a double crochet, so I had yarned over and pulled through 2 loops, and I need to yarn over and pull through the last 2. I'm going to put my hook back in the 2 loops of the double crochet, and then I'm going to slip my new loop onto my hook, and this is going to be my yarn over, and I'm going to pull it through the 2 loops to finish my double crochet stitch. And that leaves 2 little tails, and I'm just going to knot them together very tightly, and I will sew in the ends at the end, and I will show you how to do that as well. So at the end of row 5, once we've slip stitched to our chain 3, we're ready to begin row 6. The pattern says for row 6 that we can use a contrasting color if we choose to do so. Since I just attached a new color at the end of row 5, I'm not going to change it again. So for row 6, we want to do 1 double crochet in each chain 1 space with a chain 1 in between. So for this one, we're going to start with our chain 3 for our first double crochet, and then we're going to chain 1. Since this chain 3 is acting as a double crochet, we need to decide if we're going to assign it to the chain 1 space in front or behind it, because it's not exactly in a chain 1 space like a regular double crochet would be. So for me, I've decided I'm going to assign it to the chain 1 space behind it, so I'll be skipping the very last chain 1 space. So we're going to go into each chain 1 space and put a double crochet, chain 1, then go to the next space, double crochet, and chain 1. And we're going to continue that all around and slip stitch to the 3rd stitch of our chain 3. For row 7, if you choose to follow the pattern, it says to switch back to our original color here, or you can continue on with your contrasting color like I am. And for row 7, we're going to finish off our dish mop with 1 single crochet in each chain 1 space with a chain 1 in between. So for a single crochet, we are not going to yarn over. We're just going to go directly into the chain 1 space, yarn over, and pull through. And we should have 2 loops on our hook, and we're going to yarn over and pull through both loops. Then we're going to chain 1 and go into the next chain 1 space. Single crochet, chain 1, and go to the next space. And we're going to continue that all around till we get to the beginning. And if you're continuing in the same color as the previous round, you may want to mark the beginning with an extra piece of thread or a stitch marker, just so it would be easier for you to see. At the end of round 7, we're going to slip stitch to the beginning single crochet of the row, and we're going to cut our yarn. And you want to leave a little bit of a tail on it so that we can fasten off and sew in our ends. So after we cut our yarn, we're just going to yarn over and pull through the loop on our hook. And now we're going to begin the little handle. So for the little handle, the little ring, it says to make a chain of 15 over the center and join with a slip stitch. and then join again on the other side. But this is the way I've decided to do it. I'm going to put the yarn on my hook, and then I'm going to take the loop off the hook, and I'm going to go under one of the stitches on one side of the center ring of our dish mop. I'm going to put the yarn back on the hook, pull it through, and slip stitch. And this is going to be chain 1 of our chain 15. I'm going to continue on, and for the very last chain I'm going to again remove the yarn and go under a stitch on the opposite side of the center ring. Put the yarn back on the hook, pull it through, and slip stitch to attach. So we should have this little center loop attached on both sides of the center ring of our dish mop. Next, the pattern says to do 1 single crochet and then 22 double crochets. Finish with 1 single crochet over the chain 15. And we're not going to go into individual stitches. We're just going to work over the whole chain. Then we're going to turn and work 1 single crochet in each stitch. And we're going to cut our thread and fasten off. Now we're ready to sew in our ends. And to do that, we use a yarn needle. And we just take the loose ends and take the needle and weave back and forth underneath some of the stitches. You want to go one direction and then turn and go back the other direction. And this helps prevent it from unraveling later, especially if it's something you use a lot. I hope you've enjoyed this project. If you did, please like and subscribe. And if you have any ideas for future videos, please comment down below and let me know. Or message me on Instagram or Facebook. I have enjoyed crocheting with you today, and I appreciate you watching this video so much. And I will see you all next time.